Positive energy all the time. Good to see you all tonight. Hope everybody's doing great. You know how we do represent your city. We have the beautiful queen in the building representing Woodbridge. Looking cute. We got Oakland, California in the building. Of course, I'm representing Chicago, Illinois. Shout out to everybody on Kick, Twitch, YouTube, and both Facebook accounts. We have Buffalo, New York in the building. So rep your city, rep your city. We have San Jose in the building. Hope everybody's feeling great, positive energy all the time. Thanks for your support. It is Black History Month. Yup. Black History Month. Rep your city, rep your city, rep your city. Where you from, what you represent. Run them likes up. Hit the hype button. Hype up this video. Share, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and support the channel. CashApp, Venmo, PayPal. You know the deal. Run those likes up. Run those likes up. It sends the video out in the algorithm for more people to see. And we do want lots of people to see this live stream tonight about the great Rosa Parks. Now, I have a list of my favorite people in history, and Rosa Parks is in my top 3 out of 10. She's in my top 3. Might be number 1. I got to think about my list again, but I think she might be number 1. I have to think about it. I forgot my list of my favorite people. I need to write it down. Yeah, I should have wrote it down so it'd be etched in history. Maybe I will write it down this Black History Month. That'll be a good one. And I'll do that one. I'll write down my top 10 favorite Black Americans. Because I got 2 lists. I'm going to have the Black American list, and then I got the total list. And the total list has Winnie Mandela in that list. So I will do the Black American, the foundational Black American list. I'll do that of my top 10 favorite. Let me write it down. I'll do that. That'll be great for this month. I'll probably do that tomorrow or in a couple of days. I'm not going to do Black History Month every day, but I'm going to do it a lot of days this month. Rep your city, rep your city. Come on in, hit that like button, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. All of that supports the channel. And represent your city. It's very important to get in the chat. Don't be shy. And let us know your city. Represent your city. The cities love to see themselves in the chat. You understand? We got Oakland in the building. We got Woodridge, Virginia in the house. We got San Jose in the building. Salute to all those beautiful cities. Looking forward to coming to all those places when I go on my book tour. I'm right now trying to get everything cleaned up here before I leave and go out of town for 3 months. I'll be going live from out of town for 3 months. I'm not sure when that's going to start. Hopefully, within the next week or two, I can get out of here. And I'll be out of town going live, showing you where I'm at in a different city. For 3 months. I was supposed to have been gone, but I had to wait on some very important paperwork that finally got taken care of. It is very difficult to be in another city and run my business, but I have to make sacrifices to get this book done. And I got a lot to do with this book. I'll be talking about that while I'm out of town. That should be a good learning experience for everybody, especially you younger people. I'm going to show you the whole process of me developing my own publishing company, putting the book together myself, paying to get the book printed myself, and not letting anybody get into our pockets and control our materials. We have to start taking ownership. We got to stop signing publishing deals and giving away our creativity. We're going to have to start being the ones that make the movies, publish the books. That's the future. You have something to pass down to your children and grandchildren. We can get to the point where, how you pass things down to the next generation? We have to get to the point where we don't pass it to our children, we pass it to the grandchildren. Because they'll be around, that's more time. They'll be around longer than the children. They're younger than the children. So, like if you got a son, you and your son work together, you get a business going. You don't pass it to your son, you pass it to his son. And then he helps manage his son with the business, like that. Or you pass it to your daughter's daughter or your daughter's, like that, to the grandchildren. Rather than passing it to the son, then the son got to pass it to his son. Just pass it right to the grandson. Now the son is in control to manage and help guide the grandson, or the daughter's in a position to manage and to control the granddaughter or the grandson. We'll probably talk about that too on the business side. So it's more than just writing a book. It's a good thing to talk about Black history. I'm not just writing a book, I'm building a whole literature foundation. Also, I'm going to be doing other things I'm going to be talking about. So I'm going to be a lot of places speaking about other things, considering that's dealing with writing and reading and all of that. It's going to be real interesting. I'm going to kick it off. We've got to get books into our children's hand. The internet, no, books. I will not have an internet version of my book. You will have to read the book. You won't be able to go listen to the book. Yeah, you will not be able to listen to my book. Was I don't want to call it biography because it's not really a biography. So you will not be able to listen to it. You have to read. If you don't want to read, I don't know what to tell you. Good to see you, Alden. Good to see you all. Let's get into it. So tonight we are honoring Rosa Louise McCauley Parks, better known as Rosa Parks, one of my favorite people ever, 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 ever. Rosa Parks is what you call a real revolutionary, a real soldier. A real one. She's born in Tuskegee, Alabama. Both of my parents are from Alabama. So this whole thing is very close to me. With my parents coming from Alabama and my mother really coming from Uniontown and Birmingham, Alabama. My father coming from Decatur, Alabama. This whole civil rights situation was personal. It's a battle that my parents was in their entire life. So my parents actually and personally have been entwined in the whole situation with black people fighting for civil rights. My mother, when she was a child, she was not allowed to sit down in a seat. She had to stand up because it was whites only. And if she had a seat and all the seats in front got full of whites, the blacks had to go in the back, period. And the seats, and if a white person got on and walked up to her, she had to get up. She had to get out of her seat. And my mother would get emotional talking about being a little girl with my uncle, her brother. And say like my mother's 11 and say like her brother's like 9 or 8. And my mother's this little bitty skinny little girl and she's got to stand up. She can't sit down. And she had to hold my uncle and her books and he's holding his books. And she said she had to hold on to him so tight because if he accidentally bumped into a white person, it could cause both of them their lives. Imagine that. If you know anything about the church bombing that MLK got involved with, my mother went to school with those young ladies that lost their lives in that church bombing. So this is real close. My whole birth, I was born in Chicago in 1958. My whole birth is based off of leaving segregation and coming to Chicago. I was born based on that. Let that sink in. I was born based on leaving segregation. Let that sink in. When I went to kindergarten, all of the black children was here from segregation. As a matter of fact, the Great Migration was so intense that when we moved out and got a house and moved to Maple Park, I was 4 years old when we got our house. And I couldn't get in school that year. I had to wait till the next year because my birthday fell. So I had to be 5. And when my daddy went to register me in the school, because of segregation and racism, When my daddy went to register me in school, in kindergarten, and in kindergarten back then, you had a morning kindergarten class in the evening. There were so many black children that they had to move us in the gym. And when I went to kindergarten in the gym. And they had 3 teachers in the gym. And it's like 100 children in my kindergarten class. And we were considered different classes, but we were all in the gym. So it's 3 kindergarten classes in the gym with 3 teachers. And what they did, they let each teacher teach a different certain subjects, which not much because all we doing is writing and stuff. Back then, you babies, you 5 years old. So you're not really doing, no math or nothing like that. You're mostly doing writing, spelling, and drawing back then. It was in the 60s, you know what I'm saying? 63. And what they would do, we had to bring little rugs, roll up little rugs, throw rugs, and bring to school with your name on it. And you leave it in the gym. And you would get to school and get your throw rug and throw it down. And we would all sit on our throw rugs in the gym, on the gym floor. And there would be a teacher there, and a teacher there, and a piano. And we'd be in 3 groups. And this group is in front of this teacher, this group is in front of that teacher, this group is in front of that teacher. And when one of the teachers would play the piano, then we would move. So this group would move over there, this group would move over there, this group would move right there. 100 children for the morning class. Back then, you only went to kindergarten a half a day. You come home for lunch at 12. At 1 o'clock, the next group come, another 100 children. 200 children in the kindergarten class. That next year in first grade, I went there a little bit, but they built the school. They started building the school behind my parents' house. And they put mobile units, and they moved me to the mobile units in first grade. The school got finished, and I got in a new school in second grade. Right? So it means that the other children through the community stayed there at that school, and some of us went to that school. So by it being 200 children going to that school in kindergarten, when I grew up, and now I'm hanging out through the neighborhood, 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, and we the boom of the baby boomers. So when you hear about baby boomers, my specific year is the boom. There's more of us than anybody of all the boomers. And when I got older, everybody everybody that I met went to that same school. So I'm meeting everybody that went to was kindergarten at that same school. Now, the reason I say we're the boom, that I am a part of the group that was the most, there was more of us than any children, probably in American history, percentage-wise. Why? The reason I say that those of us born in 1958 was the boom is because the parents had a lot of children. My daddy had 2, my sister born in 59, I'm born in 58. Right? So people got 2 children. Very few people had 1 child. I think Michelle was the only child on our block where the parents only had 1 child. Nobody hardly had 1 child. Everybody had 2, 3, 4, 5 children. The reason we was the boom is because all the children was different age, but everybody had a child my age. And so if I'm 7, my sister's 6. My friend, he's 7, his sister's 4. My other friend, he's 7. He's got a younger brother. He's got 2 older brothers. So everybody's got a lot of different children, but everybody got one of us. So you got all these different age groups, but some kind of way, everybody had a child in 1958. These are facts that nobody write down. I might have to document this history. So you are looking at the boom of the baby boomers. Because there was a lot of children, but I'm the boom. So all through school, my generation dominated the community. These are all facts. It was more of us than the boys older than us, the girls older than us, and the boys younger than us. And we made a lot of changes. At that time, you had gangs sometimes trying to recruit. Well, the gangs died out as we got in the 7th and 8th grade because they couldn't recruit us, because 9 gang members can't recruit 30, 40 people. You know, it was like, when this is all facts. When I went to high school in 1972, in those days they had freshman initiation. And freshman initiation is when, like the seniors and juniors would kind of like punch on the freshmen. They wouldn't hurt you. Well, anybody that went to school know that all the children came up behind us. There was no freshman initiation because the seniors and juniors couldn't initiate us because there was too many of us. I'm just giving you a back history so you can understand the time period. And so for every senior, it's 10 of us. So we was kind of punching up the seniors more than they was punching us up. We hide in the bathroom. 2 of us stand on each toilet, 8 stalls, 5 stalls. 10 of us is in there standing on toilets. 2 seniors come out. We jump out, 10 of us, and run. So they quit. They didn't no more. Because we was the original Rat Pack. And so we was like, the other children before us, when they come to school and they say freshman initiation, they're like, the senior's going to get me. But it was so many of us when we got to school and we heard about freshman initiation, we was excited. The other freshmen before us was a little worried. Oh boy, when we got to school and they said freshman initiation, was like, okay, senior initiation. Yeah, senior initiation. So that ended. So all the children that came to our school, I went to in high school under us, none of them got initiated because we didn't do a freshman initiation. We ended it. And intramural basketball, as freshmen, the freshmen play the juniors, the sophomores play the seniors. We beat the juniors. Then we beat the teachers. We beat the juniors, we beat the seniors, and then we beat the teachers. So that was the class I came up, the most dominant generation so far in Black American history was those of us born in 1958. The most dominant name for boys of all ages of children was Michael. My name was Michael, named after the angel Michael. And there was a billion Michaels, including Michael Jackson. So that's a little history for you. There were so many Michaels when I was growing up that we could not use our first name, because if you come outside and say Michael, 7 boys say, huh? So you had to say Michael Young, Michael Mosley. That's why they started calling me Stu. My name was Stewart, Michael Stewart. If you don't say the last name, you say, where Michael at? They're like, which Michael? There's a whole bunch. Just on my block is a lot of Michaels. It's like, what, 5 Michaels or 6 Michaels was on my block. So that's a little history. And our parents were the Rosa Parks parents that came up here from 2 main places, foundational Black Americans in the mid and late 50s and early 60s came to Chicago from Alabama and Mississippi. The men used to go to the barbershop and talk Alabama versus Mississippi. That's how they had fun. You Alabama boys, you Mississippi boys. And they'd be in there just laughing. And so even though they were from Alabama and Mississippi, they would joke on each other, but they was like unified because they're from the South and they up in this city. And so them being from the South, they paid real close attention to Martin Luther King, what was going on with Rosa Parks, what was going on with Ralph Abernathy. All these situations really touched home because these things were happening back at home where they were from. And so Rosa Parks was a silent hero, right? Because MLK was the big name, but quietly, Rosa Parks is the champion. Because Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat. Now, there's another young Black woman that did this before Rosa Parks, and I probably will talk about her this month too. She don't get no credit. But the reason Rosa Parks gets so much credit is because MLK got involved, and it really became a big, huge situation. So let's look at Rosa Parks. Rosa Louise McCauley Parks was born February 4th, 1913. She was an American civil rights activist. She is best known for her 1955 refusal to move from her seat on the bus in Montgomery, Alabama. So at this time, this is the exact time my parents are leaving Alabama. Because, mind you, I'm born in 1958. So my parents might have been in Alabama at that time on their way to Chicago. Because I was born in 1958. I was conceived in 57. So it's a high possibility my parents got here 56, maybe 55, 56. So I was born right out of that. Right? So she is best known for, I'm born 3 years after this. Really not a full, well, it don't tell the date. So in 1955, her refusal to move from her seat on a bus in Montgomery, Alabama, in defiance of Jim Crow racial segregation laws, which sparked the Montgomery bus boycott. She is sometimes known as the mother of the civil rights movement. Not sometimes. She is the mother of civil rights movement. Born in Tuskegee, Alabama, Parks grew up under Jim Crow segregation. She later moved to Montgomery and joined the city's chapter of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. In 1943, she joined the NAACP, serving as the organization's secretary. Despite policies designed to disenfranchise Black citizens, Parks successfully registered to vote after three separate attempts between 1943 and 1945. She investigated cases and organized campaigns around cases of racial and sexual violence in her capacity as NAACP secretary, including the Reese Taylor and Jeremiah Reeves laying the groundwork, including those of Reese Taylor and Jeremiah Reeves laying the groundwork for future civil rights campaigns. So this woman early was involved with the NAACP and fighting for the rights of Black people in the United States, particularly Alabama. And if you know anything about Alabama, it's one big family. Okay, Tuskegee, Montgomery, Decatur, Birmingham, it's all connected because as they have babies, they all moved there. So anytime we went to Alabama, many times we drove to all those various cities in order for my parents to see all their cousins and sisters and brothers and relatives like that. Although all my brothers, all my father's brothers had left, four came to Chicago. My mother came to Chicago, and my uncle, her brother, moved to Ohio. So none of my mother and father's relatives was in Alabama except one, my daddy's oldest brother, my uncle Richard, who was a principal at a school, one of the first Black principals in Alabama schools. So custom in Montgomery required Black passengers to surrender their seats in the front of the bus to accommodate white riders. The rows in the back were designated for Black riders. Before Parks' refusal to move, several Black Montgomeryans had refused to do so, including 15-year-old high school student Claudette Colvin, leading to arrest. So we're going to talk about Claudette this month too, because she's like one of the first ones. She was 15 years old. When Parks was arrested in 1955, local leaders were searching for a person who would be a good legal test case against segregation. She was deemed a suitable candidate, and the Women's Political Council organized a one-day bus boycott on the day of her trial. The boycott was widespread. Many Black Montgomeryans refused to ride the buses that day. After Parks was found guilty of violating state law, the boycott was extended indefinitely, with the Montgomery Improvement Association organizing its own community transportation network to sustain it. So Black people organized their own transportation network to help each other get to work and back, and to school and back, or to shop or do whatever. This is how we have to be today. Parks and other boycott leaders faced harassment, ostracization, and various legal obstacles. The boycott lasted for 381 days. Finally concluding after segregation on buses was deemed unconstitutional in the court case, Browder versus Gale. So let that sink in. Foundational Black Americans refused to ride the bus for over a year. Let that sink in to you young generation. Let that sink into you Black immigrants that come over here and don't understand what Black people, foundational Black Americans went through in order for you Africans and Caribbean brothers and sisters, in order for y'all to get on the plane, in order for y'all to get on the train, in order for y'all to get on the bus. This case, Browder versus Gale, is the reason that you can even get on a plane and come to the United States of America. And so this is one of the greatest women and one of the greatest people, period, in Black American history. Was arrested and fought for our rights. And her arrest and efforts to fight for our right pushed our champion, MLK, because it was a Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. that came to her aid. This is how his name became so powerful. Okay? And so foundational Black Americans refused to get on the bus. They walked to work. Foundational Black American men took their personal cars and picked women up and picked men up and drove them to work. And this is one of the greatest pictures you can ever see, because you see the brother helping the queens get in the car to go do whatever they had to do. And when you look across the street, you see that the bus is empty. This is a great picture. The bus is empty. And they did this for over 1 year. They gathered, they organized, and they worked together to have the rights to live a decent life in this country, the decent life that many of you benefit from. Every time you get on a train, every time you get on a bus, every time you get on a plane, you owe all of that to Rosa Parks and MLK. This is a fact. And I wanted young people to know the history. This is not no joke. This is what we were made of. They walked to work for a year. They created their own ways to get everybody to work and back home for a year. You know, many of them lost jobs and everything for you to be able to move around in this country. And this is my beef with blacks that come here from other countries. This is my beef with them. That's the problem. That is my problem. That they are taking for granted what happened for you to come here from Africa or the Caribbean and walk around. You see, they are not welcome in those seats. If you're looking at the picture the way I'm looking at the picture, and this is what Black people that are not foundational Black Americans, this is our beef. This is our beef. This is why FBA is separated from other Blacks, and this is why we find Black immigrants to be very disrespectful, and they don't acknowledge the sacrifices made for them to be here as brown people. Brothers and sisters was beat, unalived, and went to jail. You see this picture? And you see that picture? You see the sacrifices that was made? For you to come to this country and walk around. And unfortunately, it's taken ICE to open up Black immigrants' eyes. Unfortunately. Because there's been some serious prices paid for melanated people to walk around the United States. And that was all paid by foundational Black Americans. And I wouldn't advise uh, foundational Black Americans to uh, get too caught up in it, because Black immigrants, you already know what's going to happen to them. They're going what? They going what? What are Black immigrants that don't respect the civil rights movement and don't really know what the real situation in this country? What they gonna do? They gonna FA and FO. You know it and I know it. I'm just trying to show foundational Black Americans that don't even realize some of the history, so you can understand and be proud of your history. And now you can really understand what Black immigrants and tethers, because not all of them are tethers, what they are in for. Because they've come here and separated themselves, and they living in a situation where they will be taken advantage of for separating themselves. the concept is not hard for them to comprehend. It's just a new concept. And foundational Black Americans are in between. We are doing two things, so they don't know. So we are growing the concept of foundational Black Americans with Black Americans. And so that's splitting. We're not spending all our time trying to teach nobody else. So we're not spending a lot of time trying to teach Black immigrants. We're spending most of our time getting Black Americans to change their identity. So it's not like we're spending all our energy on Black immigrants. That they're second. We're not really thinking about them. They're not a major concern. Our major concern is to get foundational Black Americans to re-identify themselves. So in all fairness, not a lot of energy has been spending on Black immigrants. We're letting Tyreek lead that. The rest of us, we're not doing what Tyreek is doing. We're helping Tyreek by getting our people to re-identify themselves. See, we're re-identifying ourselves. We don't really care about Black immigrants. We only care about Black Americans re-identifying ourselves. Our goal has really nothing to do with them. The immigrants have a problem with us separating ourselves. We're separating ourselves. There's nothing they can do about that. There's nothing Black immigrants can do about us identifying as foundational Black Americans. We are separating ourselves. There's nothing they can do about it. It doesn't matter if you like it or not. It's irrelevant. So that's what I want a lot of my subscribers to know. Don't get all caught up in Black immigrants. They don't matter. We're going to call ourselves what we're going to call ourselves. There's nothing they can do about it. And delineation is here to stay. And delineation is going to reach the United States government, and they are going to delineate us. We are going to be officially delineated within the United States government. There is white politicians recognizing foundational Black Americans and agree with the concept. And there will be moves to separate us in the census and everything. There will no longer be Black. There will be foundational Black Americans and then the other Blacks. They will not be categorized with us. That's where we're at. We're at the government separating us. Black immigrants can't separate us. They have no control over the government. This is a governmental issue. They have no control over reparations. That is a governmental issue. Black immigrants are a non-factor. And so when you see people hyping up the beef between foundational Black Americans and Black immigrants, that's a good thing. Let them do that, but that's not the cause. So don't get distracted by that. The cause is to teach your children, to teach your mom and everybody. We are now identified as foundational Black Americans, to teach foundational Black Americans that they are foundational Black Americans. And so when I come over here and I'm trying to teach brothers and sisters that we are now identified as foundational Black Americans, and some brothers from Africa or somewhere come in, I find them first, they supposed to mind their business. You understand? We grown. So you can't come here from Nigeria none and tell me what to do and how to identify myself. It's just like that. And so the internet is irrelevant. Because if I'm outside and I say I'm a foundational Black American, there's nothing a Jamaican, a Trinidadian, or a Nigerian, or there's nothing they can do about it. They're not going to say nothing to me. That is what it is. And that's going to be our identification. And this is why so many Black immigrants are upset, because they know that identification is going to be legitimized. And they are going to be listed separately from us. It's too late. And the older Blacks that want to stay Pan-Africans, that are not don't want to identify as foundational Black Americans, their children is going to their children are going to be foundational Black Americans. They're not going to ride with their Pan-African daddy. They're going to be like, Daddy, I don't want to be no Pan-African. I'm a foundational Black American. It ain't nothing you can do. If you're older and you're a foundational Black American and you're trying to stay a Pan-African, your children are not going to follow you. You're going to be old and washed up. Oh, my daddy on that. I ain't on that. Black Americans are not interested in Africa no more. That's been over. The African experiment failed in every way. We don't identify with that. We've done more research and find out we're mixed. We found out we got a lot of Native American blood and DNA. We're not identifying as African. We identify as having some African DNA. We have some African DNA, but we are now, Black Americans are no longer going to try identify as Africans. And not only have we found out about ourselves here, we found out about the Africans. With all of Africans going to Ghana, we found out that the Africans, they don't got no love for us like that. There ain't no love in Africa. That's false. You're not an African in Africa. And I found that out when I lived in Hawaii, when one of our sisters went to Kenya. And she went to Kenya and she found out she FAFO'd. And the Kenyans told her, you're Ferengi. She left, we was friends in LA. We went to Hawaii. She went to Kenya. She went to Kenya and the Africans didn't accept her. She came back to LA, contacted us, and came to Hawaii. Guess where she's at? She's still in Hawaii. She said she will never go back to Africa, ever. Because she found out that in Africa, she's not African. And foundational Black Americans, you're never going to be an African. You've been here too long. You are a foundational Black American. That's what you are. 400 years in the country since it started, this is your home. You built it. And you built it a lot of times by force and through slavery. And that's where foundational Black American ties into reparations. We want our reparations. And you can't have reparations without admitting that you were done wrong here and you did a lot of labor to build a country and you invented a lot of inventions that were stolen and patented. And without dealing with that, you can't get no reparations. So that same group of Black Americans, you'll find that they hate on FBA. You'll find they also hate on reparations. These are just haters, and these are Black American traitors, really. If you're a Black American and you don't support FBA and you don't support reparations, you're basically a traitor. That's what you're going to be in history. That's what you're going to be to all of us. If I meet you and you're a brother and you're against reparations and you don't want to identify as foundational Black American, I'm not going to even want to talk to you. I'm not going to want to talk to you or socialize or deal with you like that. I'm going to look at you as a waste of time. That's a fact. If I meet you and you say, yeah, brother, I see you on the thing, you're trying to say we foundational Black Americans, we Africans, I'm going to walk away. Because when you're trying to get something You have to get focused on what you're trying to get. And you can't get focused on somebody that don't agree with what you try to get. And this is in anything in life. If you're trying to start or build a store and you want to open up a store, don't you stand around somebody that keep talking about it's not going to work. You got to get them out your life. And you got to be around people that got the same vision you got. And so when you see these people and you identifying as foundational Black American and you identifying as you want reparations, you don't follow people on social media that disagree. You block them. Because they need to go build their own group. And those of you that don't believe in reparations need to build a don't believe in reparations group. But the fact you come into our group is like a vampire, bloodsucker type mentality. Because why is you coming over here? Why can't you just be happy being a hater and get a hater group? You have to understand, why does a hater want to come into your world? Why can't they just be happy in their own world? That shows you the flaw right there. When a brother or sister want to jump in FBA conversation to speak against it, they don't have goodwill and good intention, because they should have their own ideology. And why would they want to come and jump in yours just to shoot yours down? This is a Dracula, Frankenstein mentality. They don't have a life. That's just how I look at you. If you see this conversation and you come over here to speak against, if I do a live about reparations and FBA and you come into that to speak against it, to me, you're like a vampire. Because whatever you believe is not in the title. And why can't you go for a title based on what you believe? Why is you over here? And just because FBA and all this stuff legitimate, you doing that. You can't do that nowhere else in Black culture. Show me in Black culture where brothers say they this, and you can go over there in their group and say, you against it and you that. You know what happens in Black culture if you do that. So don't find none legitimate and do that. Go do that in gang culture. That's to all you Black brothers and sisters that jump in FBA conversations and be opposition. Go do that on the streets. Go on the streets and do that. Why don't you go to the gangs and tell them you're not with gang stuff and stuff like that? You don't see them do that. You don't see them get out there with the gangs and stand up with the gang. They don't troll the gangs. And the gangs are negative a lot of times. So why don't these pro-Pan-Africans, why you don't see them trolling the gangs? Why are they trolling FBA that's trying to do something positive? But we got gang violence out there. Do you see Pan-Africans trolling the gangs? No. Do you see Umar don't mention gangs? You know why? He's scared. He'll bring up FBA, but he ain't going to say nothing about no GDs, no Blackstones, no Bloods, no Crips. He ain't going to say nothing because he know they're going to get at him. So he ain't no King Kong. I'm the one going to go tell the gangs, y'all foundational Black Americans. Stand on that. Stand on reparations. I'll tell the Crips and the Bloods. I'll tell a Crip in the Blood that's a foundational Black American that he different than a Crip in the Blood immigrant. The Crip in the Blood that's an immigrant is bootleg. How you going to get in a foundational Black American gang like that and you ain't from America? Your daddy Haitian or something, you talking about you a GD. How? When this started before you even came in the country, these gangs started back in the 50s. You Black immigrants didn't get here till the 70s. How'd you in a Black gang? You ain't none of that. You over in Africa talking about on BD, on BD, on BD, on BD. See what I'm saying? Bro, stop. You ain't on no BD, bro. You in Africa. What? And so this is one of the people we have to honor. We have to honor this queen in the highest regards. It's one of our greatest soldiers, one of our greatest leaders. And I just wanted to give her glory. Because she's one of the greatest in our history. And sometimes they don't respect the females. And look at the results of her hard work, where they had to bow down and treat us with respect. And now we getting on the bus. Look how the black men is dressed when they getting on the bus, letting them know that we dignified, we royalty. Don't try to play us. Don't try to play us like we less than. And that whole situation led to the Civil Rights Bill, that without the Civil Rights Bill, tethers couldn't even move around here without this moment right here. Without this moment right here, brothers and sisters from Africa and the Caribbean, you couldn't even come here. Listen, brothers and sisters from Africa and the Caribbean, without Martin Luther King and brothers and sisters pushing for this Civil Rights Bill, you couldn't even come here. You wouldn't even been allowed to get on the plane and get out the plane here. Period. To all you Pan-Africans, you wouldn't be Pan in no Africa or none of that if it wasn't for this Civil Rights Bill. You would have no rights as a citizen in this country to walk around as a Nigerian, a Jamaican, a Haitian, or nothing. Every Haitian in this country right now is walking around free is based on Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, and this Civil Rights Bill. Ralph Abernathy. Without that, you would not be a citizen in this country. This is the day that you was made a citizen in this country. So I'm just trying to let my people know the history so nobody play with you. You won't be getting all emotional. You know the history. Now later for all that talk, what's the paperwork? What's the real history for you to walk around here? The Civil Rights Act of 1964 was signed into law by President Lyndon B. Johnson, July 2nd, 1964. The historic ceremony took place at the White House following the bill's passage through Congress. Key details regarding the signing. Significance. The act ended segregation in public places and banned employment discrimination on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, or national origin, meaning that if you're from Jamaica, you from Nigeria, you from whatever, you wouldn't be working at no hospital if you're a Nigerian and you in medical, you're a doctor. Without foundational Black Americans, you would not be working in any of these establishments in the United States of America. That's for all you Black immigrants that came here in the 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000, and after. Without us fighting, you Black immigrants would not be able to walk or do anything, because the act ended segregation in public places and banned employment discrimination on the basis of race, color, religion, sex, or national origin. No African would be hired because of your race, period. This is for the Pan-Africans, the Africans, and all y'all. This is for you. Without us fighting for our rights as black people, you would not be allowed in this country to walk around at all. The Civil Rights Act is the reason that black immigrants can walk around the United States and can even come here and get employment. So when you beat on your chest about you come here, how hard you work, not without the Civil Rights Act, not without Rosa Parks, not without Ralph Abernathy, not without MLK, not without Malcolm X, not without all our great leaders that made it so your black behind could walk around this country. You would have been discriminated based on race. Context: President John F. Kennedy first proposed the bill in June 1963. It was signed by Johnson just 6 hours after the House approved the Senate's version. Witnesses, civil rights leader, including Martin Luther King Jr., were present for the signing. Okay? This is ammunition for you all when blacks, immigrants, run their mouth that did not fight for their own rights to walk around here. If you're African, or you're from the Caribbean, or you're from South America, you did not fight for your rights to walk around here. We did. Yeah. You didn't fight. You didn't protest. You didn't put your life on the line. We did. And then you just came here after we accomplished what we accomplished. And then you don't want to respect us. And we the reason you could come here. Brothers and sisters lost their life, went to jail for Africans and Caribbeans to come here. That's a fact. And I can speak for myself. I take that very serious. I was born in 1958. So what you don't want to do, you don't want to come to me with no disrespect, none. Because you wasn't here when I was born. You and your mama and your daddy wasn't here. I was born in 1958. Who are you? I don't know you. Me and my family made it so you could walk around. You ain't done nothing for me. As a matter of fact, you brothers and sisters from Africa, a lot of y'all responsible for some of the DNA the Soviets sold some of your own people. So you got a lot of nerve coming over here where your people was sold into a life of that way we might not have survived, and now we survived. Now here you come. Where was you at in the struggle? Why you come after we succeeded? Why you didn't come when the fight? Why Africans didn't get boats? Why none of you blacks came up here when the fight was going on? Where y'all was at then? No, you wait till the cake get baked and then come over here and want to eat. And then beefing on the internet. No, you're not really built like that. Your numbers is not like that. And to the brothers and sisters from the Caribbean and Africa, tell your people stop doing that. Tell them to stop coming in the midst of a bigger army beefing. That don't even make military sense. Why would you come beefing with 50 million black Americans? There's only a few million of y'all. What, are you crazy? You're going to lose. You're going to lose business. You're going to lose support. And once we leave you out there with the wolves, they're going to deport you, as the Haitians are finding out right now. Without our support, you're out of here. Because you're not no threat to us. And this is what black immigrants don't understand. They don't really know who they are a threat to. They so slow. Would y'all tell them who they really the threat to? They don't even know, do they? They don't even know they represent a bigger black population, which ain't really nothing that America is interested in more blacks moving here. Duh. They're not interested in you and changing the balance of the races. Duh. Black immigrants that fight against FBA and reparations got to be some of the slowest black people on the planet. So, there's no way I would come be a Haitian or be a Jamaican or be from Africa and fight against reparations and fight against FBA. I would definitely support FBA. Duh. Like the best political, like seriously, tell me I'm lying. The best political move for black immigrants would be to support FBA. Am I lying? That would be the smartest political move. The worst political move would be not to support Black Americans identifying themselves as foundational, because then the foundational Black Americans would have say-so over your future. Because we would be able to tell white Americans, no, they cool. We've been here just as long as you whites. We say they cool. Duh. So why would you fight against other melanated people getting power into a place you want to come? Listen, if I'm a Nigerian, I'm coming here. Am I going to do better and worse if black people get reparations? Is it better for me or worse? If I come here and some more black people got a whole bunch of reparations money, would that be better or worse for me as a Nigerian or a Korean? That would be better for me. That would be way better for me. Am I lying? If I'm coming here as some type of Nigerian or black from somewhere else, and black people get reparations and got more access to more finances, and I want to come here and open up businesses and do business, how is blacks having more money bad for my business? Make that make some sense. Because how can I make money that ain't there? I can make money if money is there. So this just show you that when it comes to the bag and the money, that the Black Americans, we way ahead of these other blacks. They slow. Because if they was really about some business, they would definitely want Black Americans to get reparations. Make it make some sense. If I go to Nigeria, do I want to go to Nigeria with a bunch of poor Nigerians or a bunch of Nigerians got a lot of money? I want to go to Nigeria where a bunch of Nigerians got a lot of money. What are we doing? Why would I want to go to Nigeria with struggling Nigerians? I would want them to get their reparations from Europe. I would want them to be able to control their oil. I would want them to be coming up, right? So now when I go there, things is better for me. That don't make no sense. Do I want to go to a Jamaica where Jamaicans are struggling and the Chinese run everything? Or do I want to go to a Jamaica where Jamaicans run everything and they get money? Which one I want to go to? So this is why I'm telling foundational Black Americans, stop arguing with people that's slower than us. You're just wasting your time. You see they slow. They're the Flintstones. We're the Jetsons. We're in the future. Other blacks are in the past. We're the most futuristic blacks. We ain't trying to disrespect other blacks. These is just facts. Why you think they coming here unless this is futuristic? You look crazy coming here from Haiti and not respecting that the place is futuristic and that Black Americans got a lot to do with the reason you even want to come here. So the fact you come here and you don't want to respect that we got something to do with you come here, we want you out of here. I speak for a lot of Black Americans. We want Black immigrants out of here. They've shown too much disrespect. There's nothing in it for us. And they're not gangsters. They don't know how it go. If there's nothing in it, if you come here and there's nothing in it for us, How you going to get support when there's nothing in it for us? There's nothing in it for us to support black immigrants. We're just like every other people. What's in it for me? Oh, nothing? Okay, bye. To my black immigrant brothers and sisters, show black Americans how they benefit from you. If you want that support. If you don't show them how you benefit, and if you're telling them you're coming to compete with them and your numbers is smaller, you're going to lose. You're already letting us know your game plan. Oh, you coming to compete? Okay, shut them down. Don't do no business with them. Don't support nobody that's coming here to compete with us and taking our money to compete with us. Get them the hell out of here. We want you out of here. The black man is going to start the black man is not going to take his woman to no African braid shop. Like I'm going to tell you right now, if I start dating a woman and she going to Africa to get her hair done, and she love me, I'm a dead dad. I'm like, baby, you can't go to them no more. I'm not spending no money with them. I'm going to tell you the facts. I'm going to tell my queen, don't go to them. I'm not spending no money with them. Brothers, tell your woman, you're not supporting her going giving them money. Because we sick of the Koreans too. We sick of our women going to these people that don't got no love for us, going to Korean shops to get their nails done, get their toes done, going to Africans. A black man start making your woman redirect that money. She can't keep taking our money, our hard-earned money, and sending it out the country where it don't support their babies. Black woman, why are you spending money somewhere that don't support your children, your daughter and your son? Taking food out your daughter and son's mouth and feeding somebody's daughter and son in Africa or in the Philippines. That don't even make no sense. Make sure you spend that money where your baby can get some of it. We got too many black women looking for a way to make some money to be supporting these other businesses. It's time to put our women do the hair braiding, our women do the toes. It's time for foundational black Americans to become more professional business people. Step y'all business game up. I got to get on foundational black Americans' case. We have to be more professional. A lot of times we don't want to do business with foundational black Americans because you aren't professional. You're letting other people come and be more professional than you. That's got to end. We got to start being the epitome of class and professionalism as foundational black Americans, so that we'll want to do business with ourselves. Our restaurants have to be clean. Our business have to be efficient. We have to be courteous. We have to get our own money from our people and stop driving our people away to white businesses and other businesses and our money run out the community because we don't want to be professional. And we're going to leave that like that, okay? And if you want to buy pictures and stuff and hang them up in the house, things like that, consider hanging up a picture of Rosa Parks in your house so your babies grow up and see the queen. You understand? It's time to start decorating our homes with foundational black American images. It's time for us to start hitting them with these T-shirts, with these foundational black Americans all on these shirts. That's what time it is, y'all. That's what we're going into 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029, 2030. Let's be proud of ourselves. Let's start pushing ourselves. Let's start spending some time with our queens and pulling them out the hole. Let's start spending time with our young kings, getting them out of gang violence and start putting some money into them when they come out of prison and help foundational black American youth change their life. Let's do some self. Let's eat better. Let's cut back on committing suicide by food, cigarettes, drugs. Let's kick that out of our lives. Let's clean it up. Let's bring back marriage, respect, motherhood, fatherhood. Let's get some community baseball teams and stuff. Let's have some babies so our sons got somebody to play with. I know you don't want to have no babies, but then the ones do got babies, your son ain't got nobody to play with. They don't got a life because ain't nobody got no babies. Your son can't even go out and get a baseball team together because on the block ain't nobody got no sons. It's hurting us. You ain't got no love. You ain't got no wives. You ain't got no husbands. You ain't got no respect for each other. The black woman respect the black man. The black man respect the black woman. We got to bring families back, love back, marriage. Take care of the queen so she don't got to get no alimony. She don't got to get no child support. Why she got to get child support? Why can't you support your child when you break up with her? You want to talk all this, you don't like the system, but you leave your queen and the system got to take care of your baby. The black woman, if he willing to take care of the baby, don't take him to child support. Let him take care of the baby. Don't take all his money and make him broke. But at the same time, if you ain't sending her nothing every month, what you want her to do? You a disgrace. You got her pregnant. Get out there and get some money. Send her some money for your child. Just like that. We got to make some changes with the way we deal with other people. We got to kick them to the curb, and we got to kick our bad behavior to the curb. You understand? So much love and respect to Rosa Parks, one of my favorite people in the whole world. She did so much for us. All my life, I got up and I rode buses in Chicago and stuff. And as a kid, and I never knew that she was the reason I was able to ride the bus and sit wherever I wanted to sit. I never knew. I never knew she was the reason that I could ride the bus and sit wherever I wanted to sit. I never knew that all them years, that she was responsible for my freedom moving around here in Chicago. We didn't have the internet, you know what I'm saying? But now we know. So, respect the queen. You know what I'm saying? And respect. You see that man standing behind her? All right then. You understand? Behind every strong man is a strong woman. And behind every strong woman is a strong man. And just look at this picture real good. Look at the queen out front and look at the king in the back, standing strong with the queen. You see it. Powerful picture right there. You understand? And no matter, always remember, you know how we doing. We ain't backing down for reparations. We ain't backing down for reparations. We want reparations, and we want reparations now. Victory.